Okay, so Stephen, obviously we were supposed to be looking ahead to a game in Tala tomorrow night, and a fairly significant one in the history of Shamrock Rovers, and one that you've been building towards for quite a long time now. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case. Over the last 24 hours, we've learned of some COVID-19 cases up in Derry.
Yeah, we've only heard what you have heard. Derry have obviously got hit with COVID, and we just hope that the players and staff who are affected there are okay and get through it fine.
And I suppose there was a communication from the FAI. What was it? I think was it last week, following the disruption within your own squad. Obviously, it wasn't ideal for your squad to be hit with some cases too. They did say that there would be no more games postponed because of COVID-19. This kind of just flies in the face. And I know you don't quite know because the FAI haven't communicated anything else since. We don't know what's going on with Derry currently at the moment. But it does kind of seem that if the game was to be postponed, which it now unfortunately looks like it is, that it just flies in the face of an official communication from the FAI.
Yeah, look, it's going to be a tricky situation for the FAI to deal with in the league on the back of the announcement they made last week, and that was on the back of us getting our COVID cases. So look, we just have to wait and see what comes out and what way it's handled. But like I said, I think first and foremost we have to make sure that the Derry players and staff are okay, and we wish them well. And us as a club, we're willing to play the game whenever it is possible to do so, whenever they can fit it in the next few weeks, if that's something they want to look at. We totally understand that's a difficult time for everyone, and we're willing to play the game whenever.
Obviously, then Saturday was when it was officially confirmed that you were champions with Bohemians losing to Finn Harps. So what was I mean, I suppose we're in all of these COVID-19 restrictions now. So what was the general gist? Where would the play? Like, I mean, were they all at home, or was there what was the situation?
Yeah, everyone was at home. Yeah, there was no big plans or celebrations. I think we've got to respect the time we're in now. People are sick, and people are unfortunately passing away from this disease. So we got to respect that. But like I said, we know what we've achieved. It's great to be with the players this morning to feel that energy and celebrate with them. But like I said, once we leave here, it's back to our own families and back into our own little bubbles.
As I said, a mad 24 hours. I mean, obviously you guys have to prepare as if the match is going ahead. But what's the kind of the general mood among players showing up there? Because they must be like, you know, on Sunday morning they must be thinking, or on Monday morning they must be thinking, great, okay, this is the preparation, and we're going to lift the trophy on Wednesday night. Now that's not going to happen. That must be incredibly deflating for them.
Yeah, but it will come. Whether it's Wednesday night or next Wednesday, it's fine. We've done the hard bit. We've won the league. So lifting the trophy is a formality that will happen. So we're not too worried. Look, it happens. Like I said, we're in strange times, and these things happen. You have to accept that these things can happen, and we're okay with that.
On a personal note for you, it's been an amazing transition from player to manager. I mean, last year winning the cup was a big moment. It's now sort of for you. Has it come full circle for you, this whole sort of transition now?
Yeah, look, I always felt that we were on the right path. I felt we were going in the right direction. It takes time when you're trying to build what we're trying to build. It takes time. We knew it wasn't going to be a straight path. There was going to be bumps in the road. There's always pressures when you manage this club, and you've got to expect that and understand that everybody has an opinion on it, and that's fine. Even if they don't understand what's going on in-house. So we understood that from the start, and thankfully now we've gone and obviously won the cup and won the league this year, but we're only getting started, we're not finished. And I believe this group is going to get stronger and stronger with time. They're at a good age. When you look at the average age in the squad, it's really good, and I believe we're only getting started.
And you mentioned it certainly hasn't come easy for you, and there have been times where you have been under significant pressure, given that two managers before you had pretty short reigns. So when you took over as manager, what was kind of said to you, or what did you say to directors to kind of convince them to say, listen, believe in this, it will happen?
I think like it was an honest chat with the board, myself and Stephen and Glenn. We had an honest chat about where we wanted to go, but we always felt that was going to take time. When we came in, we were fighting for fourth place, and we were chasing a really dominant Dundalk team at the time, and Cork were also there fighting every year. So we felt that we could always get there and catch both and overtake both, but it would take time. And when we sat down with the board and explained how we're going to do it, they believed in it, and they've never wavered, which was always nice, and it's very important because as a manager, it allows you to make decisions with real clarity and understand to not take your eye off the ball, and you make decisions for the long-term future of the club and not for tomorrow when you have that backing, and that's really important. And
the building of the squad was also something that was quite significant in terms of the I suppose the profile of the names that you got in there, the likes of Joey O'Brien, obviously Jack Byrne, who's been incredible, bringing Pico Lopez across from Bohemians and those kind of sorts of players. It's kind of been like I'm trying to think of how the opposite of a domino effect, because dominoes fall, but like do you know what I mean? It's kind of like one player influences another, who influences another, etc.
Yeah, I think that's, again, when we came in, we knew the type of character and people we wanted in the building. And obviously then they have to be good footballers. But I think Ronan Finn was our first real big signing, and then every year we just tried to add the right people, the right characters, and obviously then they had to bring the right quality on the pitch. But it was really important that we brought the right people to this football club, and every year we tried to add the 3 or 4 that made us better as a group, and thankfully we've been able to do that.
And I mentioned the FAI Cup final last year as a major moment in it. At what point did you turn around, or was it even prior to the cup final? Did you turn around and go, okay, right, it's the league next year?
Yeah, we felt we needed to win the cup, obviously, to understand how to get over the line in a big game. But I felt the Dundalk game at home last year when they beat us 1-0 was a real turning point for us. I felt that when you look back at the game, we felt as a staff that we completely dominated the game, and it was the first time that we'd played against our rivals, the team ahead of us, and completely dominated the game. And even though we'd lost the game, we felt that was a big turning point for this group. And then obviously you need to go and win something to really believe it. And as a group, I mean, on the pitch, and the players did that in the cup, and we've just gone from strength to strength.
And I suppose in terms of this season, then the big game that I think you nearly, 7,000 people in it, was unfortunately the last game before lockdown hit, and unfortunately you've had to play in front of empty stadiums since. But I suppose that game with Dundalk this season, was that it, that you, okay, well obviously you bet them in the cup final, but was that the moment you thought, okay, this is it? Or like, I mean, it's a long season before you even know that COVID-19 is going to shut everything down.
Yeah, no, that didn't. It's obviously important to win them games, especially at home, and their big games against your rivals. But it was never a moment where, after that game, where we sat down and said, this is it. We felt before the game we were going to win the game, not out of any arrogance or cockiness, was out of confidence. We believed in what we had. Like I said, the turning point was last year. And we felt if we showed up and played at our levels, that there's no team in the country that can beat us. And that night we showed up and played at our levels. And like I said, when we do that, I don't think it matters too much what the other team do, because like I said, we're more than a match for anyone when that happens. And having gone so long without playing any football during the lockdown, to come back, some people might have thought, okay, well, an 18 game sort of run in might, I suppose, make it a closer finish, or it might enable a bigger title race. I think for 2 weeks there was an if and a but about whether maybe Bohemians might catch, but it didn't affect you at all. You kept going, and now the word invincible is coming into this because you haven't been beaten all season. You had one or two little bumps in terms of draws against Shelburne. I can't remember who the other one was against, but you managed to plough on. Yeah, I think when we found out this season was going to be put down to an 18-game season, it left us no margin for error. We knew that we'd have to be on it every week because, like you said, with so few games, we had to be really, really careful and make sure that we were on it every week. And with that brought a lot of pressure, and I felt the players have dealt with it really well. And the fact that they've won over 4 games to go in an 18-game season shows how good they have been. And the unfortunate thing for everyone is that the group and the fans and the club is that they don't get to see it. They haven't got to see some of the football they've played this year, but we're delighted that we've managed to get it over the line for them.
There's still, now that you've won the league, obviously, okay, we're maybe looking at maybe the St. Pat's game now where you go and lift the trophy now, but there's still the matter of defending the cup, which is still very much in your hands.
Yeah, obviously it'd be nice next week, if it's tomorrow night or next week, that we lift the trophy. It'd be great. And then all focus is going unbeaten in the league and going and defending our cup. We wanna win that. Great Shamrock Rovers teams in the past have gone and done doubles and won back-to-back titles, and that's something that we'll definitely look to do. We look to go and defend our cup and make it a double this year.
And when you sit down at the end of all of this and you look back on what has been, and in terms of what can be now going forward, what's like? I mean, obviously, you know, Dundalk in Europe is. I think everybody can kind of say that it's a big thing for Irish football to have a team in sort of the second tier European competition. That must be something that you're trying to get at. This club has been in that position before, where they've been in the Europa League, maybe the Champions League. Yeah,
but look, that will look after itself when it comes. You need the draw to be nice to you when it comes round. We all know that, but Europe will look after itself when it comes. I think our focus now is defending this cup this year, and then fully focus on the league again next year. And like I said, when Europe comes, obviously we want to do well. There's no doubt about that. We want to push on, but we'll talk about that when the time comes. It's about us winning. We've won the league, let's win the cup, and then concentrate on the league for next year. And let's see where that takes us.
And I can't believe I've nearly neglected to mention that, you know, one player who might have been gutted to miss out tomorrow night is Jack Byrne, obviously because of his recent COVID-19 diagnosis. He has been one of the standout players for this club. I know you mentioned Ronan Finn, I know you mentioned others before, but he has been one of the standouts. He's managed to get himself in Ireland squads. He was so unlucky to miss out on that last international window as well. I don't know then what the situation would be for St. Pat's or him going forward, but reflect for me, if you would, on his time at the club and what he's brought.
Jack has been excellent. I think everyone has seen that. He's, from the moment he walked in the door, he's changed everything about himself, and he's done that. No one else has done it. He's done it. He's maturing, and his quality on the pitch is there for all to see. I think he's one of the best players to ever play for this club, and I know there's been some great players down the years that have played for this club, but I think Jack is right up there with the best of them, and he's one of the best players in my opinion to ever play in the league. And again, I don't say that lightly. I understand the players that have come out of the league and have played in it, so I think Jack is right up there when you speak about the best, and hopefully there's many more years to come for Jack in the Shamrock Rovers jersey.
And is there, I mean, it's probably too early to say now, and I totally respect if it's not something you're in a position to talk about, but there has been tons of speculation about where his future may lie. Obviously his contract is up at the end of the season. Has there been any discussions, or has he said to you, look, there's one or two possibilities in England or Scotland or, you know, wherever?
Yeah, no, we always talk, myself and Jack and his representatives talk regularly, his family, so it's very clear, we're clear on where we stand with Jack. The club have made him a fantastic offer. We understand there's a lot of interest from around Europe for Jack, and that's only natural when you have a top player. That's the way it goes. So we've got to understand and respect that, and allow Jack to explore all avenues, and let him sit down when the season's finished and really analyse where he wants to play his football next year. But look, I know Jack loves it here. He loves playing for this club, and obviously we love having him. So like I said, the club have made him a fantastic offer, and hopefully he sees his future here. But whatever Jack decides to do, Jack Byrne has been brilliant for Shamrock Rovers, and Shamrock Rovers have been very good for Jack Byrne. So hopefully it continues that way.
And do you think it maybe, I suppose, disrespects the club, the recent sort of commentary around what Jack Byrne has to do to get into an international team, people saying, well, it's simple, he has to move? Is that disrespectful to the work that I suppose is being carried out, or and maybe even on a side note to that, disrespecting the league?
Yeah, look, I think you could talk all day. I don't want to give a throwaway comment to it. I think it's too big of a subject. But what I would say is that we need to relax and respect that Stephen has a job to do in picking the Ireland team, and he does that how he sees fit, and we've got to respect that. He's the Ireland manager for a reason, and I know Jack will be patient. He'll continue to work hard, continue to play his football, and when he gets his opportunity, which he will get his opportunity, I've no doubt in my mind that he will show everyone what he can do. We can't forget that what we're seeing this year and last year from Jack Byrne isn't something that's just happened. If you look back in Holland when Jack was on loan from Man City, he was one of the best players in the Dutch league. So Jack can play at any level that he's put in, and I've no doubt he will show that when the time comes. But we've got to relax and not be trying to wish something to happen too quickly. Allow Stephen to make it happen when the time is right, and I'm sure he'll know when the time is right for Jack.
Okay, well look, unfortunately we can't in terms of tomorrow night, we can't say much more because we don't know anything about it yet. But look, it's been a terrific achievement anyway to win the league, obviously on the back of the cup, and congratulations on that. And whether it's tonight or next week, hope you enjoy the. Actually, how do you celebrate a league in these conditions?
You have to do it with your family, really, because you have to respect that. It's there's people, like I said, that are sick and are in hospital and are getting sick from this COVID. So you have to respect that, and it's different, obviously, but you have to respect that and enjoy it at home with your family.